Hey guys, welcome back. Week 1, fantasy football. We are ready to go with the questions. If you have any, bring them on. Let's see what we got. We got Barfy and we got Ryan back. Welcome back, boys.
Hey, how you doing?
Hey.
Hey, how you doing?
You came running a bat out of hell. Like, hey, what's going on there? How we doing here? We got Barbie, we got Ryan here. Here we go. 75, 75, 85, 85, 85, 85.
We got 100. We got 200. Sold. Virginity sold for 50,000.
What do you want, Epstein's Island?
That's how it goes.
Ooh.
All right, well, guys, welcome back for another fantasy football dosage.
Oh, also, hold on. You, sir, Mr. Monahan, stop asking me to say people's names out there so they get hurt.
Oh,
Derrick
yes.
Henry.
Derrick Henry is done for the year. We called that.
Season injury.
We called that.
Oh, man.
This was the week that Derrick Henry's goes down. Barfy, say his name.
Now, if you say my name 3 times into a mirror, the mirror shatters.
Yeah. Hey, Ryan, who else do you have that we can get hurt this week?
Not Aaron Rodgers, that's for sure.
Oh, no.
Cup,
Oh, this is the week Cooper Kupp pulls a hammy. But, oh, yeah. Well, speaking of Aaron Rodgers, COVID. COVID.
Yo, he's in a lot of trouble.
Is he?
Yeah. He didn't disclose it. He lied to the NFL. God forbid that your boss can lie to you, but you can't lie to your boss.
Oh.
I mean,
bro.
That's well, there's a couple people out this week for COVID reasons, isn't there? Well, and also for personal mental health reasons, but
I'm telling you, therapy dogs on the field. Just bring them on the field. Then we can have blind people on the field too. Then we can have their seeing eye dogs play, find the proper routes for them, especially if you play for the fucking Eagles.
Let's just get a big fluffy, fuzzy wall so everyone can just pet that, in between plays.
I don't know what this shit's made out of, but I want this covered all my fucking house.
All right, let's roll this. Must-starts. All right, so we're going to start off with Barfy this week for his must-starts. We got Joe Burrow, and this was actually one of my. I was thinking about it. I was like, nah.
So mind you, again, when I start doing these research and picks, it's usually at like 3-4 o'clock in the morning when I get done work. So I apologize. So Burrow is rolling now as a fantasy quarterback. He should stay hot this week against the Browns. Burrow has scored at least 22 fantasy points in 6 games in a row, including 3 consecutive outings for at least 26 points. In 2 games against Cleveland last year, Burrow passed for 722 yards, 6 touchdowns, and 1 interception, along with 53 rushing yards, 1 touchdown, and 2 fumbles. That was a lot. The Browns also allowed an average of 23.5 fantasy points per game to opposing quarterbacks for the season, and Burrow has a top 5 upside this week.
Woohoo!
Well said. You know what? I just have one question. This is something that absolutely confuses and baffles me. All right, so the Rams traded for Von Miller. How do they afford all these freaking massive contracts? Like they just keep adding people. Like, okay, yeah, we don't have salary cap rules.
I don't understand that trade at all in general. Why?
Well, he's on his last year. He's still kind of a productive player, so this is the last year of his contract. So it's kind of like, all right, let's bring him in. Let's do that. But I'm sure the contract is expensive.
Yeah, and then what are they giving up? Like a 3rd round pick, or
I thought it was a late round pick.
Oh, okay. I hope so. Yeah, like okay. I for some reason I thought it was like a 3rd or 4th, and I'm like, I don't know.
It's Von Miller. I forget what round it was. I could have sworn I saw something like 5th or 6th, but
oh, okay.
I could be wrong. If it was a 3rd or 4th, it's still Von Miller. You still get 1 year out of him. What can a 3rd round pick do for you?
True. Yeah.
And most of the time, that's a miss.
do for you.
Sorry, I'm seeing our counter not doing stuff in the corner, so I wanted to make sure that we had a live feed going.
All right, well, we're gonna move on to Ryan's.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Jalen Hunts.
Really? After he He lost me last week because he got benched in the fourth quarter, and that's where he gets all his points.
His 14 passes.
know.
He's likely to get his numbers, one way or another this week though. 4 times he's been an average or above average passer, throwing at 2 to 3 TDs and finishing with at least 264 passing yards. In 3 of those, I mean, the 4 times he's had lesser passing numbers, he's averaged 57 rushing yards and ran in to the end zone with 5 TDs. With the Chargers struggling against the run, he should definitely have some, lanes to dart through. And, I think he's, maybe he'll get the, as we always say every week, the garbage time points at the end. So
Garbage time.
Garbage
time.
He's playing a real football team. Does he realize this? Like he's going to have
garbage time.
He's going to have to rely. He's going to have to rely on his actual running backs to do their job. And I think they're going to demolish them.
Someone's got to take the trash out at the end. So
Jalen Hurts will get all his. They're going to prevent defense in the fourth quarter, but he's going to be up by 2 touchdowns, and they're going to make the game look really close, but it really wasn't.
Yeah, he'll have 8 fantasy points, and then he'll get 20 at the last 5 minutes. So he'll get up to his 20 points. Yeah,
that's what it is. That's what he's done all year. That's what he's done all year.
Hold on, let me say this. Let me say this right now. Jalen Hurts.
No.
And season career-ending injury. Snaps his fibula right in half.
And we get the Minshew in.
Yes, Uncle Rico comes back. Throws it right out of the end zone.
Terrible. All right, moving on to... I went with Tua Tagovailoa. Oh.
I almost went with this too myself.
Tua Tagovailoa. I think this is a heck of a matchup this week for him. 2 over the last 2 weeks, 17 to Buffalo, 29 at Atlanta. Going against Houston, it's ranked 27th for quarterback production in fantasy. Over the last 2 weeks, Houston has given up 25 to Stafford and 22 to Kyler Murray. But I think that was that the – no, that wasn't that game. No. All right. I was thinking that last second interception game when he was thrown to A.J. Green. I don't think that was it. But anywho's, so Tua Tagovailoa is going to be a solid start this week. Just the fact that they're playing Houston, and Houston sucks. And that's pretty much all the analytics or analysts you need on that. Playing Houston, you start the quarterback.
I mean, yeah, I got to agree. This is going to be now. You want to talk about garbage time football, and this is garbage pail kids right here. This is Pop Warner. This is just going to be. Oh, this is so cute. This is the Special Olympics of football games this week. Is these 2 horrible teams? So Tua should look like a rock star. He should actually look like a professional athlete today. But later on, you'll see why I agree but disagree.
With no Devontae Parker, so it's all Jalen Waddle and Preston Williams.
Waddle, baby, Waddle, baby, Waddle, Waddle, baby, Waddle.
All right, well, Barfy, you're on a roll, Barfy, and this one I'm kind of curious to see what you have to say about.
So I'm going with this guy. My choices are very slim this week on random people that you should look out for because it's all bye week. This is bye week football. You know what I mean? We're getting heavy into it, so you're probably scrambling to find somebody like I did for a tight end this week. It might feel like Williams lost a lot of
You're always searching for that tight end, aren't you?
I know you stopped. You don't answer my 3 a.m. What are you doing text anymore.
I'm up. I don't know.
I'm like WYD, and you're like, nope, black. And we used to have long talks over this. Right before fantasy football, we'd pass out for an hour and come back like, hey, but you don't do that anymore. True. You're too busy with your wife and God. So Williams lost a lot of playing. It looks like Williams lost a lot of playing time to Derek Gore on Monday's game against the Giants. But Williams still played 64% of the snaps. He had a total 19 catches. He had a total of 19 touches, 6 catches. He's now scored at least 16 PPR points in 2 of the 3 games with Clyde Edwards-Helaire out with a knee injury. I would trust Williams again this week against the Packers. Green Bay has allowed a running back to score a touchdown in 5 of the past 6 games, with 9 total touchdowns surrendered over that span. And 5 running backs have at least 4 receptions against the Packers, which bodes well for Williams in the passing game.
Yeah, I'm curious to see how it's going to all shake out with Derek Gore because they both looked fantastic. We'll see if Andy Reid just keeps the two-headed monster going. And, yeah.
Sometimes you have to pay extra for that there, Cotton.
Do you think Mahomes is going to turn it around? He's playing like Patrick Mahomes or Patrick Mahomes?
I think Mahomes back. I think Mahomes is back.
I doubt it. I don't know.
Shut your horse mouth there, sir.
I have him. He's just thinking.
Good day, star.
Oh, boy.
Boy, he's right.
Ryan, we're staying in KC with this.
Go with Aaron Jones. It took a slow start, but Green Bay's running game has come around with the team running for 130 plus yards in 4 of its last 5 games. It's probably headed for another one of these kind of games with Kansas City struggling in general in defense. KC ranks 22nd against the run. With Rodgers out, the Packers should probably emphasize with the run. The only thing I worry about is Packers just been doing, the running back committee kind of thing with Dylan. But I don't see any issue. I think Jones should, get those points.
No, I agree. Aaron Jones definitely should be. He is definitely going to be not so much the bell cow, but he should get the majority of the most valuable carries.
How now, bell cow?
Bell cow.
Bell cow.
Moving on to mine, I went with Austin Eckler.
Ooh.
Yeah. So staying at the Philly thing. So Austin Eckler over the last 2 weeks is 22 points against New England, 8 against Baltimore. Philly ranks 30th against running back production. Last week, 6 points to Swift, but it was an absolute blowout, and it got out of hand, so that was more of a game scripting kind of thing. Jacobs with 14 the week prior to that. So I think with those 2 running backs being stated, and you're probably going to see Austin Eckler more along lines in the 20-point range. I see that. Well, I think I'll talk a little bit more about the wide receivers a little bit farther down, but yeah, I think it's going to be a lot of Austin Eckler coming out of the backfield, catching his passes as usual, and just tearing up that linebacker core that's not going to be able to keep pace with him.
Oh, yeah. I need that 20 points, too, because I'll start him. With Derrick Henry out.
That's got to hurt. That's got to be a kick in the foot.
Yeah. Don't say his name 3 times.
So. Ooh, Austin Eckler? Why would I talk about Austin Eckler that way?
Who was that?
Stevie Wonder.
All right, Barfy, we're going to the wide receivers. Interesting.
Yes, I completely jumped the whole player. Yeah, so you'll see for my sleepers too. So Cooks will hopefully be okay for the rest of the season now that the trade deadline has passed and he's stuck in Houston. It would be great if Ty Taylor starts this week against Miami, but I have no problem trusting Cooks against the Dolphins, even with Davis Mills under center. Cooks has scored at least 17 PPR points in 2 of his past 3 games, and Miami has allowed the 3rd most fantasy points to opposing receivers in the past 3 weeks. In those past 3 games, 8 receivers from Jacksonville, Atlanta, and Buffalo have scored at least 12 PPR points, and Cooks will hopefully reach that threshold or higher in this matchup of perfect garbage pail kids football.
Yeah.
Yes. I agree. It is going to be a garbage game, but I think it's going to be a high-scoring garbtage game because
I think so too.
It's so much garbage.
Like here, you score a touchdown. No, you score a touchdown. No, seriously, you score. You score. I insist. Like I fucked your name up to Tugboat Lewis. Yeah, go ahead. Just throw it down the field. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be a high-scoring garbage game. So, all right, if it's a high-scoring game, can it be considered a garbage game because it would be entertaining?
No, because then it gets boring. It's like, look, they're going to throw, hey, look, a touchdown.
It won't be your typical like AFC game that's like, 14-10, and it's like, God, I'm tired of watching Pittsburgh do this every week.
I mean, you got a point there, but it's still going to be, it's like, I want to see skilled players. I don't want players who just look good because the other team is, well, special. And here it's just two special teams playing a special game.
Special friends, special places.
Just a little bit special. This fucking football team makes me look special.
Right.
Yeah. I'm going with Deebo Samuel. He struggled with Trey Lance starting, but with Garoppolo in the lineup, he's caught at least 5 passes in every game and gone over 100 yards 4 times. So they're going against the best pass defense, but you got to send him out there, let him do his thing. This team doesn't have another significant wide receiver. So
You got Brandon Ayuk.
Oh God! Really? You actually said I'll say his name 3 fucking times. Yukataki.
I think it could be one of 2 things. I think Jimmy Garoppolo just doesn't look to his second or third read because he's not a very good quarterback, or Brandon Ayuk just really is that bad. I don't think it's that. I think, and then also you have George Kittle come back this week as well. Hadouken. So, but George Kittle coming back this week, I think that'll help open up some things for Deebo, and that would be really good.
Yeah.
So, but on the other hand, I don't think we should bang on Brandon Ayuk because I don't think it's him. I think it's the quarterback. Just like how Baker Mayfield just could not simply find Odell Beckham wide open at all week to week.
Talk about that drama. Oof.
No. What did I say in the beginning with Odell? Worthless, horrible football player.
I don't. Sometimes it's
Send
not
him to
the.
Canadian
Sometimes
League.
it's just not the. It's not the wide receiver. Sometimes it is the quarterback. Like you look at Randy Moss, who went to the Raiders, and he absolutely sucked for like 2 seasons. He goes to New England, play with a all-pro quarterback, and all of a sudden he's a Hall of Famer again.
Right, but I'm just saying Odell came into Cleveland all hooting and scooting and tooting, and he caught 3 passes. Then he's been injured ever since.
Yeah, he's had the injury bug. It's been an
Right,
issue.
just like Deshaun Jackson, he's been injured. I don't believe it. Sorry, he's
Laser.
Laser.
All right, going on to mine, we move on to I did Hollywood Brown because I'm a big fan of Hollywood Brown as
You
usual.
love Hollywood Brown.
I love Hollywood Brown. I absolutely do. Hollywood Brown over the last 2 weeks, 17 at Cincy and 6 against the Chargers. Minnesota is ranked 27th for wide receiver production against. And I've lost my spot. There I am. I found it. Over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 23 to Cooper, Amari Cooper, and 10 to DJ Moore. Now, I think that we're going to see a little bit more of the same. I think they're not going to be able to contain Lamar Jackson, which is going to get the deep ball wide open to Hollywood Brown. And that's what they do. They hook up for those long gains, and that's what's going to continue to happen this week.
You just love Hollywood Brown.
I wish I had him.
I mean, yeah, not gonna lie. I'm just jealous that I don't have him, but
he's there. They have an incredible connection. You could only hope that, never mind.
I wish we had an incredible connection. I mean, internet connection, because sometimes our connection goes out.
Yes,
quickly.
That would be great. That would be nice. Thank you, Comcast.
Fuck you, Xfinity. Xfinity. Oh, wait.
All right, so we are going to go into our next area. Sleepers and Redeemers. So with our Sleepers and Redeemers, we're going to start off with the quarterback, and that is with Barfy.
And totally redeem yourself!
All right, I'm going with Sir Typod Taylor.
Is he playing this week? He is back.
He's back. He is back. Back again. Taylor's back. It's not just him.
They're going to win some games.
He better win some games. So Typod Taylor is back for the Texans after being out since week 2 of the hamstring injury. And this is the best situation for him. This is literally just a warm-up game. He's facing the Dolphins defense that is number 3 in fantasy points allowed to opposing quarterback. And hopefully Taylor will pick up wherever he left off prior to getting hurt. He scored 27 fantasy points in week 1 against Jacksonville and 18 fantasy points in just half against the Browns. Hopefully this game becomes a shootout with the Texans and the Dolphins, and Taylor has a top 10 upside on his return to action.
Really leaning hard on this garbage pail, kids.
You know what?
Whoa.
Fuck it. If it's going to be horrible, if you're going to watch a train wreck, you might as well put it in HD. Why not? You know, I want the sound effects. I want it all. I want it all.
All right, Rye, your quarterback. Poor Jameis Winston.
I know. Throwing a little dart at the wall, you know. He was on concussion protocol, Taysom Hill, but I think should get the start this week. You know, if he gets a start, I should put up, top 12 numbers, so we'll see. I mean, if you got a bye week on a quarterback, should be there on waivers, I would think. I don't think anyone else would have him. So we'll see, he put up decent numbers last year. I mean, why not? Go for it.
Yeah, their third stringer they had in last week was pretty good.
Trevor Siemian. Yeah, I like him. I don't think he's a terrible quarterback. I think he's like a Case Keenum.
Yeah.
I mean, remember Sanchez? Mark Sanchez? Not Sanchez. No, who am I thinking of? Garcia. Garcia. He reminds me of Jeff Garcia. Give the man a chance.
Yeah. Either of those two guys. Yeah, I'll have to see. You have to see who ends up starting.
And then you have that big elephant in the room. Michael Thomas decides, I'm not playing this season now.
Yeah, he's like
everyone who's been burning that IR spot all year long.
Yep.
Really worked out for you.
And think about also with Calvin Ridley. He's like, I'm out. Screwed me up.
Yeah, Calvin Ridley.
Ridley.
All right, last week, I think I had it. Kirk Cousins is my must start. This week, I'm going to do is a redeemer. Obviously, I should have known that Kirk Cousins does not play well under the big lights. So there's that. This week,
kind of need for a quarterback because, when you go to the Super Bowl, what are you under? The big lights.
Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins against Dallas, 13 points. Carolina, 30. Playing Buffalo, that ranks 22nd against quarterback production. Over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 17 to Tua and 14 to Ryan Tannehill. Now, those are two very subpar quarterbacks. So I believe that Kirk Cousins is a average or above average, if that, quarterback when he's not playing Sunday, Monday, or Thursday night football. So I definitely would say that you want to go with Kirk Cousins on a sneaky start. That would be a top 5 finisher.
That team just pisses me off in general. I feel like you always think they're going to win, and then they just.
I agree.
Right?
I agree.
It's so aggravating. Like last week's game, like Dallas covered and won. It just.
Yeah.
It was like 20 to 17. Like, I'm like, what's going on? Come on, guys.
Well, speaking of that, what absolutely freaking drives me up a wall? When the team just goes into prevent defense and gives up like 20 points with like 5 minutes left in the game. Like Indy did. Totally sucked all my defensive points away. It's fucking annoying. Like, what just happened? And especially all the bettors out there that had the point spread and lost by 0.5.
Oh, my God. I know. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's like the Vikings, for example, for betting. Like you're always like, oh, they'll win. Like if you throw them in a parlay, and then they don't. They
always playing down.
Yeah,
they're always playing down to the team they're playing. It's ridiculous. Ridiculous. Barfy, running back sleeper redeemer.
So I have Zach Moss. Moss hasn't scored a touchdown in 3 games, but he's still found a way to be productive. He's had 6 catches in week 8 against Miami. And it's great that Josh Allen is leaning on him with 7 targets. Moss should have a chance to score this week against the Jaguars, who's allowed 9 total touchdowns to running backs this year. The Bills also are a 14.5 point favorite on the road. So Moss could have some fun, some fourth quarter production as well, with Buffalo likely playing with this big lead.
Okay.
Listen, man, I told you I'm looking from in the aspect of you're filling holes right now because it's bye weeks.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's
Oh,
good sleeper.
Yeah.
And there's one thing I try to be best at, and that's filling holes.
Rye, your pick.
Going with Jeremy McNichols.
Yes, that would be the name.
His name is Jerry McNichols, man.
All right, so obviously, with Derrick Henry was, cursed with some black magic and
Some
is
barf
injured
magic.
now. Yeah, barf magic. So he's coming in. They're playing against the Rams. The Rams will be scoring a lot, so I see him as another receiving target. So he should be getting a lot of targets, especially for PPR.
Yeah, I used to PP.
Yeah, and I know everyone was all hyped up about the Adrian Peterson signing, but I mean, Jeremy's the only game shape running back they have on this roster right now. So I would not, jump the gun on that right away. Adrian Peterson hasn't played, and he can run out there and get hit and be like, ouch, and be out. But so with this matchup, going against the Rams, like I said, like the Rams will be putting up a lot of points. So Tannehill's probably gonna be slinging the ball a lot. So I see him getting a lot of targets. So should be a really good, solid flex option here.
I should be seeing a little bit more production from AJ Brown, I'm assuming then.
Yeah, I actually wanted to put him as a must start.
Now, with the addition of Adrian Peterson to that backfield, do you feel that he's old, man? He's
36.
I understand that it's Adrian Peterson and he keeps himself in impeccable shape, but I just don't see him coming in. I see the young legs in McNichols probably in this backfield going forward.
Oh yeah,
especially with the fact that he can catch the ball out of the backfield, so he adds a whole different dynamic. So actually, the defense has to respect that he can actually catch the ball.
Yeah, exactly. I wonder if Peterson's even playing. I don't even think him and the other running back are technically on the 53-man roster at the moment for starting the Sunday.
Yeah. So this week, McNichols will definitely get the full bulk of the carries.
Yeah.
Going forward, I think that he probably still will in weeks to come. I think Adrian Peterson will just be the kind of change of pace, third down, pound it between the tackles kind of guy, battering ram that McNichols just isn't. But I definitely think that the more productive back is going to be McNichols going forward. Adrian Peterson is the bigger name, but I don't think he's going to have the skill level to do it.
Nah.
No. All right. So with mine, I went with Josh Jacobs. Josh Jacobs over the last 2 weeks, 14 against Philly, 15 against Denver. New York Giants are 23rd against running back production in fantasy football. Over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 12 to Derek Gore and 8 to Chuba Hubbard.
Chuba good.
Nice.
So Josh Jacobs should the Henry Ruggs stuff going on. He's no longer with the team.
Oof.
That speed kills. Sorry, that was terrible.
Sorry.
Too soon. But
yeah, man, you gotta be careful. You can't say that shit, or like this podcast come to a crashing halt.
Well, let's just put it out there, children. Don't drink and drive with a loaded gun and drive 154, I think it was, miles per hour. You probably don't want to do that. So children, don't do that. Okay, this is your whatever, your after school special moment. The more you know. So anyway, Josh Jacobs is going to have he's going to feast on the Eagles. It's not probably going to be along the lines of between the tackles because they do have a very stout defensive line, but I do believe that they're going to catch a lot out of the backfield. I mean, Eagles. I'm sorry, Giants. But
you all right over there?
Yeah, sorry. Brainerism. Anyway, Josh Jacobs, so definitely would be a solid start this week, especially RB2 flex option. Exactly what you drafted him to be. So there it is.
Ooh.
And then we'll move on to wide receivers.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. I'm going with Van Jefferson. Van Jefferson, since Deshaun Jackson and the Rams have parted ways Tuesday, which should be some good news for Jefferson moving forward. He had 13 targets in his past 2 games against Detroit and Houston. He scored at least 11 PPR points in each of those outings. Matt Stafford will hopefully rely on him more moving forward. He has a great matchup against the Titans in Week 9. The Titans allow the most receptions, 132, and yards, 1,728, to opposing receivers, and they are tied for third in touchdowns allowed, 12. Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods should have big outings in Week 9, but Jefferson could also be a quality number 3 fantasy receiver as well, flex position, or, again, bye week shit.
Oh yeah, and Woods' ankle is a little messed up, so he definitely might get some more targets and opportunities here.
I didn't even realize that Van Jefferson was having that kind of production over the last 2 weeks.
Yeah,
you got to do your research, man.
I didn't even know. I just looked. I was like, "This is like, what are you talking about?"
Oh, you fact checking me?
I just fact checked. I just fact checked. Yes, and you were correct.
I'm gonna go meta on you.
Fact check.
No.
Don't. No.
So moving on to another
Glad
sleeper.
nobody's watching this right now.
It's whatever.
Hey guys,
we get our viewership afterwards. Sometimes we get a couple of questions. This week it doesn't look like it's happening. So
everybody's still sleeping.
Yeah,
Yeah.
probably.
I
Yeah.
almost was.
I want to be sleeping.
I was supposed to be at work right now.
I'm going with Jerry.
I think there's no evidence.
It's a good thing I'm the boss. They call me Tony Danza.
I'm going with Jerry Jeudy here. He got he led the receivers on his team with receptions last week, but I think he should eat up on the slot this week against Dallas.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, so
that's just stupid.
We'll just roll with that.
Wait, so he's going to eat up the slot. Continue. What's her name?
Num 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 num.
No, I think he should be able to do that. But yeah, I lost my train of thought. But I think he should. He'll be eating good this week, so I think he'll be doing good. I think
we're just going to keep this going, aren't we? Right?
Yeah.
Jerry Jeudy eating some of that slot.
Yeah.
Going to be eating
Eat
some
it
good
up.
this weekend.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
We'll see the offerings at Dallas. Should be decent.
Could be a messy game.
All right. Moving on. I did Jarvis Landry. Dirty Landry. Whatever. I with no Odell Beckham, so you lose the I need the 10 targets a game ratio out of that whole situation. Jarvis Landry Jarvis Landry over the last 2 weeks with 9 against Pittsburgh, 6 against Denver. Will have a large uptick in targets this week going against Cincinnati that ranks 20th in fantasy wide receiver production. Over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 11 to Elijah Moore and 17 to that awesome, gorgeous Hollywood Brown.
Downtown Hollywood Brown.
So this week, I definitely think that Landry is going to have that uptick in looks from Baker. I think they have more of a connection than between them two than Odell and Baker ever had and ever will now. So definitely, if you have Landry, Dirty Landry.
I'm telling you, Jarvis Landry and Ty Pod Taylor need to be on the same team.
They should be.
To start cleaning the field.
Jarvis Landry is that kind of PPR high target kind of guy, and that's what he needs to succeed. So that's definitely what's going to come out this week. You're going to see it, and they're going to be like, "Oh, okay, he's viable wide receiver option now for fantasy football."
Viable?
Yeah.
Viable?
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 For sure.
Good.
All right,
we're all following along.
Yes.
Woo!
Breakout flex. So with our breakout flex this week, we have Barfy. And,
right there.
you are really digging at the bottom of the scrap heap.
I am listen, I'm going to tell you right now. I literally went through this because I'm looking for a tight end in the football sense. Well, I mean, and in the personal sense, call me. But so I'm going with this guy. I'm going with Pat Fryermouth. Freermouth.
That's another name that we're going to have to learn how to say.
Can I get a judging on this? A reading on this?
Fearmouth? What's the country of origin?
That sounds like it's Belgium. My name is Pat Fryermouth.
It's freer. It's freer move.
Free vermouth?
No, just
Free vermouth.
Free
All right, so free vermouth doesn't have an easy matchup in Week 9 against the Bears.
First name Dieter.
freer move.
Thank God there's nobody watching right now. Oh, Jesus. All right, where am I at again? Oh, I'm here in Jersey. Ikbenheim Benuchin doesn't have an easy matchup against the Bears this week, who have allowed one touchdown to a tight end this season. But I like the way he's been used lately. The free mouth has been being used well lately. So I'll trust a free mouth as a low-end starter in all leagues, and his value higher in PPR. He now has 14 targets, 11 catches, 102 yards, and a touchdown in 2 games without Juju on that beat, Smith-Schuster. And Freemouth has scored at least 12 PPR points in each outing. Hopefully, Ben Roethlisberger continues to lean on Freemouth as a short area target again this week.
I fear for that boy dealing with the Ben Roethlisberger.
You don't want to hear Burger to Freemouth? We're not going there? All right. All right, good. I'm glad you're all following along at home, kids.
Going to our next. It's been a while since I heard that name.
Who?
Yeah, there's a name.
Miles Gaskin.
So,
Houston. Miami doesn't run it that much, but this is, I think, is a good week because they're going against Houston, and Houston's allowed an average 158 rushing yards with 14 TDs in 7 games. So, it shouldn't be a surprise. Both running backs in this on this team for the Dolphins should be able to put up some good numbers. Plus, I think Miles Gaskin should get some good receiving targets as well. So, I think this is a no-brainer for this. So I think if you have him as a third running back or an extra flex, definitely start him because you're going another garbage time here.
That's right, children. Everyone noticed the bouncing ball? Play people in Miami against Houston game. Garbage time game.
It's actually funny that we haven't planned this. We don't discuss this because we do zero pre-production for this, and we're all picking the same shit. In one way, shape, or form, we're all going with Miami and Houston as the game.
It's hard.
Get your fantasy points.
Well, it's definitely a major focus game for fantasy production. 2 shit teams are probably going to beat up on each other and have a high-scoring game.
Here's a nice piece of shit. Hey, Soundman Steve's here.
Whoa.
And Mama Barfy.
Oh. Well, moving on to me. Brian Edwards. With no Henry Ruggs, Brian Edwards will be the guy to look for. I understand you have Hunter Renfrow, and I am a big fan of Hunter Renfrow, but I believe Brian Edwards is going to be the guy that takes over the target share with Henry Ruggs leaving town to an orange jumpsuit.
Ooh.
So over the last 2 weeks, Brian Edwards with 13 against Philly, 8 against Denver, going against the Giants, 21st against wide receiver production. And over the last 2 weeks, they've given up 22 to Tyreek Hill and 10 to DJ Moore. Now, with this uptick, you're going to probably see a top 15 wide receiver this week, I believe. Top 15. And people are going to go, who is this Brian Edwards? And I'm going to go, he's on my roster already, so suck it. Yes, no, yes.
Ooh, nobody gives a shit.
That's a bust. All right, so bust this week. We have Barfy going running back.
I'm going running back Melvin Gordon, Denver versus Dallas. Gordon was a great fantasy running back in Week 8 against Washington with 18 PPR points, but he was saved by 2 touchdowns. He had 10 carries, 47 yards, and a touchdown, along with 3 catches, 15 yards, and a touchdown, 3 targets. He lost a fumble late in the game, which could come back to haunt him if the Broncos give Javonte Williams more work, but Gordon could let you down if he doesn't score, which he probably won't. He's been at 13 total catches or less in 5 games in a row, and Williams isn't going away anytime soon. I'm fine with Gordon as a flex in all leagues, but I wouldn't start him. I mean, there's better players out there, but you kind of have to if you're on the bye week. And Dallas has tough running backs all season and is number 7 in fewest fantasy points allowed to the position.
I'm about to bust.
Oh boy. All right, Rye, your bust of the week.
I'm going Devontae Smith.
I agree with this.
The Chargers have given up just 3 touchdowns to wide receivers this year, and none of them were given up by number 1 receivers. So Smith has scored fewer than 5.2 fantasy points in 4 of the 8 games this year, and against an excellent secondary, the Chargers. So what do you expect? So it's just, Los Angeles ranks as a top 3 unit against fantasy wide receivers. So this should,
So
I
you
think
mean it's
you
going to
should
be
not
another
start him.
world's greatest running quarterback show tomorrow?
Probably, yeah.
Wonderful.
It was funny that Jalen Reagor became a running back like last week or whatever. He was getting some runs.
Well, if you can't throw the ball, you got to do something.
Yeah.
And Hurts can't
It's
take
just so
every
bad.
rushing yard, right?
Yeah. So definitely avoid Smith this week.
Yeah,
Yeah,
no Devontae Smith.
I would avoid him for the rest of the season.
Yes.
I agree.
I wouldn't even be.
I'm about to bust.
I wouldn't be even I wouldn't even roster this guy. It would be to the point where let someone else make that mistake to start him.
Like the bald
Don't
bastard.
even be tempted.
Let the bald bastard take him.
Yeah, there you go. All right, I went with Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen over the last 2 weeks, 17 against New England, 8 against Baltimore. Playing Philly, who was 3rd against wide receiver production. They've given up 6 to Amon-Ra St. Brown from the Lions, and 5 to that orange jumpsuit wearing Henry Ruggs. And so how I look at this is you're going to have Slay that's probably going to be riding Keenan Allen all game, and you're probably going to have Mike Williams have more of the fantasy output for wide receiver. And you're going to have Austin Eckler coming out that's also going to be catching a lot of the balls. Keenan Allen is going to probably have around something like 3 or 4 catches for like 50 yards. It's not going to be a day you want to be starting. It's going to be more of a Mike Williams show this week, and Austin Eckler and whoever their tight end is. I forget. I forget. Anyways, but okay, so let's move into oh, it's a bet. So, Barfy, your bet of the week. You were money line.
No, I didn't. No, I just didn't. Did I do that?
No, I just changed it for you because you had Detroit.
Oh.
Just
All
for
right,
sake
cool.
of conversation.
There you go. Perfect. I was going to say take the Saints over Falcons, but you know what? Yeah. When in doubt, whoever's playing Philly, go for the money line against whoever's playing against Philly. So this week, yes, go for the Chargers against Philadelphia because, you have a real football team playing a guy who doesn't know how to throw downfield, read the field, or hand off the ball. So that's my choice. Thank you for picking it for me, but I agree with it.
There we go. Hey, that's what we do. All right, Rye, yours.
I'm going Tennessee and the Rams over 52.5. Should be a lot of scoring for both sides. So I expect both teams to go over 4 touchdowns each. So I think this would be a good one.
Okay.
Maybe.
Yeah, maybe. That's a gamble. That one's a gamble.
I just like Barfy, I also went with the Chargers who are giving 2 points to Philly. I don't think it's going to be that close of a game. I don't. I don't think so. Nope, not going to happen.
Nope.
Nope.
Not going to happen there.
Nope.
Nope, not going to happen. It doesn't look like we have any questions this week to go through. So, well, it's hey guys, if you happen to roll across this, hit the like button, hit the subscribe, hit the share, all that fun stuff. Barfy Tuesday show.
There is no show this week. Bald Bastard is down in beautiful Disney, and so I could not get anyone for this week to fill in just because work has me all over the place this week. So I could not do it. I needed to take a break. Next week we should be back on the up and up. Also, the Bastard Brigade has been invited because Hideout is finally coming out. And I'm doing a viewing party next Saturday after it comes out.
Next Saturday night?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I sent you all an invite.
Yes, I knew something was going on Saturday.
Ooh.
So there's shenanigans able to happen there.
Yeah,
My man Steve will be there, and hopefully you guys will be there, and then we will have some more content. So something will be coming out soon.
excellent. I can't wait. Everyone, check out Hideout. You find it on anywhere you stream your movies.
Amazon, Vudu,
Google,
cable on demand. You have to search for Hideout.
I think Google Play's got it as well. I thought
all those weird Shudder, I think, has it.
I actually have Shudder.
Yeah, I think they're all on there. And Culligan's late to the party. Way to go, Culligan. I'll see you guys. Thank you.
what? Did Colgan got a question?
No.
Just saying hi.
He said I'm late again.
That's what she said.
It's okay. It's okay, Culligan. I got a coat hanger, some bleach with your name on it.
There you go. Little scrambled eggs. Anyway, so hey guys, thanks for tuning in this week. We'll see you next week. And boys, it's always a pleasure.
Always. See you guys next week.